Many people believe that there's a BUBBA system in place in the Sheriff's Office. What would you do to outreach to the public to ensure that this system does not exist?
I believe it does exist, and we need to change some of the positions in the agency. And I believe I know the positions that are involved in the BUBBA system. And if I get elected, I'll go in and try to clean up the mess that's there. Thank you.
Folks, I've been banging doors, door to door, meeting and greeting folks in this community since January 20 when I announced my candidacy for sheriff. Like some people here, I never wanted to be the sheriff, but I felt compelled to step up to try to make some much-needed changes within our agency. I can tell you that my own fears and my own knowledge of the inner working of the agency is true, that the BUBBA system does exist. It's existed for the entire career that I've been there, and the people of this community, i.e. the question that just came in, are very attuned to what happens in our community. Door to door, overwhelmingly, the people are telling me Bubba's alive and well. But basically, what can one man do to kick him in the ass? Basically, okay? How can change really be made in our community? And what I tell people is, united we stand, divided we fall. A few or a small group of wealthy or well-connected individuals in this community control our $43.5 million public pocketbook. Gets picked every year by the same people who get to reach in and grab the most and dig the deepest. It's up to you, folks. You only get this decision once every 4 years to be an agent of change and to give Bubba a message. Up and down the highway today, you see big signs, big egos, big money, big waste, and more than anything else, big Bubba. I'm here tonight to tell you it's time for big change. That change is Jake Brady for 2012.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not happy with the way we promote our people, the way we move them through the ranks. I would like to develop a little more fair an equal system so that the person that gets the job is the person that's best qualified for the job. Per the union contracts and stuff, I don't know if you all are aware of it, the sheriff has the ultimate responsibility on choosing who gets the position, who doesn't. Now granted, we have boards, we have interviews, but in some cases, you already know who the candidate's going to be before you even sit down for the interview. My argument is this: why not just stand up and say, I have the person in mind that I want to promote to this job. We're not going to advertise it. This is the person that's going to take it. They're the most qualified, in my opinion. Last couple of weeks, I've walked the county. I met with business owners. I met with community people. I've heard your comments. I've heard your concern. We literally walked from 106 down to the 0 mile marker. I banged on every business door. If it was closed, I left a hanger there with all my information on it for the ability to contact me. There's a lot of concerns. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm the fresh look for 2012. Thank you.
Well, the promotion of sergeants and lieutenants is not so easy for the sheriff just to say, you're promoted. We do have contracts with our union members, collective bargaining, Teamsters, and FOP. Outline here is procedures for testing and selection of personnel. And those outlines are agreed upon by both sides, management and the line officers, of how they want and think it should go. Talking about top 7 scores, putting in for a position. It's talking about evaluations. What were their evaluation scores? Oral boards, interview boards. What was the interview score? Seniority, longevity, performance, discipline. Those are large things that are based in there, to which ultimately the sheriff, yes, the sheriff makes the final decision. But before it comes to the sheriff's desk, it comes through lieutenants and captains who do generally the oral boards and interview and take all this into consideration. There's a checkoff sheet which talks about military preference, talks about education, talks about your performance evaluation score, talks about your interview score. All this is on there. Along with that is a written justification letter coming from the command staff of that division or district who is making a recommendation to the sheriff as to who they want. So, I just want to make sure you understand that. This selection process is agreed upon by both sides, all union personnel and the management. This is how the system works. The sheriff cannot just say, you're getting a job. If so, he would be going through arbitration grievances with the union. And if he could not back it up for an arbitrator, we have binding arbitration. If the union felt that a selection was unfair, they would take the sheriff to arbitration. An arbitrator would make a decision against us, and we would have to abide by that decision. Now, above that, command staff officers, not only this sheriff, but the previous sheriff. I also have worked for 4 sheriffs. William Freeman, DeFore, Roth, Perriam. These are honorable men who were elected by the populace, who had confidence in their integrity and their ability to make the right decisions. These past 4 sheriffs have made decisions which they thought were the best decisions for the citizens, the agency, and the community as a whole. I have confidence in these last 4 sheriffs I worked for, whether I was a deputy, whether I was a sergeant, what I did. These men made these decisions on good merits on what they thought was the right thing to do. And it's easy to money to quarterback somebody, and it's easy for someone who doesn't have all the facts, all the details, all the information, doesn't know what the job is about. If you don't know what the job to be a command staff officer is, how it works, what your responsibility is, and if you've never done it, like the sheriff himself, he's been division commander, he's been a captain, he's been a bureau chief. He's picking someone to be a lieutenant, a captain, a bureau chief. He, like myself, we can say we've been there, we've done that, we know what the job takes. So, I appreciate it.
Here's the good news. I don't know who people are enough to know if they're special, and I should treat them differently. So my philosophy is going to be everybody's going to be treated special. You're all special, and I'm stealing this line from one of the directors of one of our other county agencies. Every one of you are special. Every one of you are citizens in Monroe County, and the law will be applied to you equally. No one will be treated differently. No one will be treated better than someone else because of who they know, who they're related to, who they're friends with. If you elect me sheriff, you're choosing me to lead the sheriff's office. Doesn't mean I'm going to ask 49,000 citizens to pick every sergeant, lieutenant, and captain for me. You've elected me to make that decision for you. And in 4 years, if I make the bad decision, you'll vote me out of office. You'll let me know. Everybody's going to be treated fairly. Everyone will be treated fairly. Doesn't matter who you are, who you know, whether I like you or not. If you can do the job and you're the best person for the job, the best person for this agency, you'll be promoted and advanced up the ranks. Period. Thank you.
Some people from the audience request a couple of items. First of all, just to review the primary, there are 3 Republicans and 2 Democrats. It will be those parties will decide their candidate for the general election. So it's Jake Brady, Bill Grove, Rick Ramsey are Republicans, and Matt Koval and Tom Pitek are the Democrats, and they'll be decided in the election, or the primary election on August 14th. And the other item is that the Island of Key Largo Federation of Homeowners Association is having a forum for primary candidates on July